I've saved a guy. When I was a lifeguard, I saved a bunch of people, and one in particular was an older Asian dude. And after I plucked, I'll tell the story long because it's probably been like 4 years since I plucked him, 5 years. And Kyle, don't smile.
I'm not smiling because I like in my head I was imagining like, what if he saved a kamikaze from Pearl Harbor? I don't know. I'm not being mean. Go ahead, please.
He saved maybe Hitler.
If he was a successful kamikaze, he couldn't be.
Here's how it went down. It was at the end of the day. We're on the lifeguard stand, and we see this guy head into the water. He's wearing glasses and a shirt. He's Asian, but he's built like George Costanza. And anytime, like, you're watching everybody all day long, just like sort of getting a grip on who needs attention, who doesn't. And our term for guys like this is like, he's a customer. This guy, might be a customer. He might need to be saved. And whatever, he's flopping around, everything's cool. At the end of the day, you pull the rowboat and the lifeguard stand up to the top of the beach so that the tide doesn't sweep it away. As we're doing that, we don't watch the crowd as carefully as we would all day long. And at the very end of the day, there's this can. You sort of wave this big red thing in the air and whistle goodbye so that the crowd knows they're unprotected now. And that matters because people drown all the time, every year. But literally no one has ever drowned in like 130 years during the times the lifeguards are on duty. So anyway, we see this guy and he barely has one arm out of the water. He's just waving it like, and it's like, oh fuck, like that was the guy. I know this guy, and he's going under. And at this point in my life, I'm working out like 4 hours a day. I'm swimming in college. Like I'm the guy that he needs. So I'm very excited about this. I loved rescuing people. And I go out to, by the time I get to him, he's underwater. I dive down, I pull him up. I had this speech I would give to people about like how to hold it's called a can. And it's just, maybe you've seen the Baywatch guys spin it on their hand or whatever. I would give it to him. I have him hold it like a kickboard. And this guy, his English isn't very good. And he is in no condition to like understand speech. He grabbed the can while laying on his back and looking in the sky and just stayed like that the whole time. And I'm towing him in and he's like bobbing in and out facing the water. And
what was that like that did that make it much more difficult for you that he was doing it that way, or not really?
I was good at this.
Okay.
Yeah, he
kind of sucked for him though, right?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for him, but like he's getting back to the beach. So I get him to the beach and like we kind of part ways and it's cool. All right. The next day we're working the same beach. It's whatever, same partner, same meet. He comes by and he brings his wife and his 2 kids, and they all thank me for saving the dad. And they bow.
Oh, I was going to ask if it was a bow.
Yeah.
How far? All right, because it matters.
I don't recall. I don't think I've ever been bowed to any other time in my whole life. And
did you bow back?
No, I was. I sheepishly smiled and like said it was nothing or my pleasure. Like I didn't know how to handle it socially.
My pleasure, like you work at Chick-fil-A and didn't just save his life.
But
you really could have used $500 right about then.
No.
Could have given him a promo code for lock and load.
So that was like 30 years ago, and it's one of the most impactful things I've done with my life.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome story.
That's
I
really cool.
honestly don't remember that story. I asked about the bow because there's this Larry David episode where like the Chinese guy the Japanese man fucks up his order and it spills everywhere. And as an apology, the guy bows to him, but it's just like a little bow. Like if this is his spine, like boop, gives him one of those. And he talks to another Japanese person. He observes 2 Japanese people having an interaction, and one bumps the other. Ice cream cone hits the ground. Very, very good. way down, almost flat. Like he was like almost flat.
Very
and
apologetic.
Him. He's like, "Hey, I noticed you knocked his ice cream and you apologized and you bowed." He's like, "Yeah, that's our culture." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Does it matter how far?" Oh yes, like that was a respectful bow. I was like, oh, "You'd never give like a little bow." Oh no, that is a shit bow. That is a shit bow. That is a disrespectful bow. That is a spite bow. And it goes back to the Japanese person. Like, you gave me a shit bow. I heard you gave me a shit bow. That doesn't count. I want a real bow.
That's funny.
We should
No,
have
that-
bowing in our culture.
We
love
were
it.
talking about the negative impact that the sniper they had on the sniper,
Mhm.
and the inverse is true, and that was kind of the bow on the end
Yeah,
of my
that
story. Like it
Makes a
had
lot of sense.
hugely positive impact on me.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that must feel really good to know that like maybe he went out and did some good in the world. Or
Even if
maybe-
he was just dad. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm sorry, Kyle. You probably had a joke. I apologize.
who cares?
Is
I was gonna
what were the okay? So you're lifeguarding. Was there ever a time that like you got distracted by something when you're sitting up there and like minutes go by and you're like, oh fuck, like I have not been watching at all. Thank God nobody drowned. Or were you pretty astute?
I can recall something similar to like so when you're a lifeguard, you're pretty much watching the edges, right? This is where the people are drowning. If a 8-year-old somehow runs into trouble and then you're right next to them, an adult in waist deep water, that's never a problem, right? You just hold the kid's hand or something.
By edges, you mean like the further out
This is
part?
the periphery of the crowd is where all the drowning happens, at the farthest points and the deepest points. And apparently, allegedly, some kid got into trouble like 18 feet from us, like right in front of the stand, you know, and I don't know, a foot of water or something. Is this a toddler that fell over? I can't tell the story very well. I didn't see it, Taylor. I didn't see anything happen. All I know is some parent yelled at me for not watching their kid well enough in a foot of water. And
What did you say? And I hope it was watch your own fucking kid.
Yeah, can you
kid.
swim, Dick?
I wasn't the senior guard, and he had to do all the social shit. Well, for whatever reason, like whoever's been a lifeguard longer has a huge impact on like the seniority of the chair, and so I didn't have to deal with any of it. But
How many times did you actually have to go out? Like, or what was like was it every week you had to? Was it every couple days? Was it a rare occurrence? You actually had to like jump down and get into the water?
Yeah, so it'd be like 30 times a year. I did it maybe 35 times a year. I did it for 4 years.
Nice.
Okay, that's more than I
You
thought.
Definitely
That's a lot.
saved some real bad people
In
Like,
the hundreds of people potentially.
yeah,
I
Like
like
low
those.
hundreds. Yeah.
like
You definitely saved the pilot to Epstein Island or something. Yeah.
Yeah, statistically, you did save a pedophile.
Yeah, I thought that's where Kyle was going with the guy that he saved.
And so, how do we weigh the good that Woody has with the evil that Woody has clearly done? Woody is a hell saver, as he's known on the beaches of New Jersey now.
What he's swimming out there to save someone? He saves Dick Cheney.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure in the future he'll be a wholesome politician.
No war crimes, none.
Go off and have a very fruitful life, sir.
Yeah.